boss. You want to come on or not? You coming on or not?
Come on and say hello.
She's going to come on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my actual real boss. I mean, I have this homegrown boss here, but my boss at Radio Inc. magazine and the Podcast Business Journal, which is the day job where I really don't act like a fool most of the time. This is Deborah Parenti, who is a radio veteran from back in the day when AM radio was king.
Yeah. True.
And she's from Ohio. Go figure that.
Who dat?
Ohio.
Who dat?
So where did that come from? Do you know?
I have no clue.
I'm surprised I have to tell you to get the microphone close because
we talked about this before, right?
She is here visiting from Dayton, where there's 10 inches of snow.
Something like that, yes. And my car's buried.
She got her whole floor redone this weekend. I won't tell you how much it costs, but when she goes back to the house, there's going to be brand new floors and it did cost you $400 to have two goons come to your house and move your furniture into the garage.
Just out. And
you got ripped off.
They got to move it back in yet.
I see, but that's another $400.
That's right.
All righty.
So how long have you had to deal with him?
Probably for about, 15 years.
Wow.
I came on board right before you came back for your second round of duty.
Yeah.
And
Radio Inc. magazine is a national trade publication for the radio industry. It just turned 30.
Wow.
30 years old, yeah. And we, folks, believe it or not, we have 12 issues a year, and the subscription is $179.
$199.
She raised the rates since our last conversation.
There you go.
Go find another magazine that you'll pay $199 for. And all thanks to me.
Well worth it.
It's well worth it. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much for saying that.
Yeah, well worth it.
What do you think of your journey to Fort Myers Beach so far?
Oh, I think this is beautiful. I would come back. This is my first trip. I'd been over to Sarasota years ago with my parents, but I'd never been to Fort Myers.
Right.
Yeah, we walked out on the pier today.
Yeah.
And what did we see out there?
Pelican?
Yeah, there was a pelican standing next to this guy who was fishing.
And
like
crazy.
Like his little buddy.
I can't believe you saw a pelican on Fort Myers Beach. Who would have known that?
It was on the pier as people were walking by. It was just standing there greeting everybody.
But this pelican said, "Hi, Deborah."
Yeah.
I see. Of course it did. Of course it did. So speaking of your first bird experience on your way to this coast, can you share with our audience your bird experience on Alligator Alley?
Oh, you don't want to hear that
one. Yes, they do. They do.
Oh, this is so. It's been a number of years.
You can talk right into the camera there. There you go.
A number of years ago, I was driving from Fort Lauderdale over to Sarasota or Naples, and I'm going down Alligator Alley, and it looks kind of spooky to me anyway. I was wondering how many bodies were left along the.
Not many. The gators ate them all.
Whatever.
How come you're not doing this?
But there.
How come you're not doing this to her? So I get that too.
Anyway, there's a big semi coming down. There is a pelican or a bird. Big bird.
I think it was a blue heron.
It was an egret.
He's standing in the middle of the highway, and just as that truck goes by, he decides to take flight, and he ends up being impaled, literally, on the side mirror of the truck.
Ooh.
I'm screaming. I knew I shouldn't close my eyes, but I wanted to because I was afraid then I'd have a wreck. But that vision has stuck with me ever since.
You're scarred for life.
No.
Did you stop and call Crow would have come out?
I think it was beyond any rehabilitation.
Feathers were flying. I mean, it was not. This was not pretty.
Well, I forgive you for killing the bird.
I didn't kill the bird. The bird. Never mind. That was a song.
There you go.
The bird is the word.
And the Birds were a band, right? The Birds.
BYRDS.
Yes. Yep. So I would like you to share with the audience when you guys go together to conferences or whatever.
Yeah.
Talk about what he does when you guys go out to dinner. Like
he leaves early.
Right.
We're lucky to have him for one dinner. He
will call me. He's like back in the room. I'm like, well, they're out drinking wine and I have work to do and I got to get up at 4:00 in the morning. Like, isn't it supposed to be a fun experience?
It's supposed to be a chance to bond with other employees, to bond with clients. And he's just not real bonding.
He has no social skills outside of this hour and a half.
No. In fact, when I first started watching Beach Talk Radio, and I do watch it from
Were
Ohio,
you shocked?
I'm totally shocked because it's like, you have a personality. You don't. You should see him in our meetings on Monday.
Oh, I've heard him sometimes. He literally gives you 2 seconds, and I don't know how many times I've heard him hang up on you mid-sentence. Okay, goodbye. Click.
Yep. Yeah, it's done. So yeah, he's.
Well, thank you for coming on.
You asked for it, you got it. So,
right.
but that's but he's a great editor. He
Thank
does
you.
do a great
Thank you.
job. He
As long
does
as he stays behind the scenes.
No, he does compelling interviews. I thought I was being interviewed on the way over from Boca
You were.
yesterday. By the
I
way,
learned about her entire career in those 2.5 hours.
yeah. So
Well, you do have a long career in radio. She was regaling me with some of her stories on the way down here, but it was too short.
Christy
But
says the boss needs to come back.
yes,
You've
she
got
is
fans
phenomenal.
already.
Oh, well, thank you. By the way, I want to do a shout out to John over there,
Yeah.
Okay.
Walker Loomis, and her husband David and Sheila. They are fans of your
You
show.
bought a hat?
But I worked with John's father for many years, Johnny Walker. He is an icon. Continue and in the Broadcasters Hall of Fame in Dayton. So.
One last
Wow.
story. One last
Isn't Johnny
story.
Walker like isn't
It's
that a
not the same
bourbon
thing
or a
there.
whiskey?
Stop.
Yeah, it is there's red and black, I believe.
Right,
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So before we close the show and lose every single person watching, there's a story I want you to tell about Dick Clark, because I think that Dick Clark is universal and everybody knows who Dick Clark is. They've either seen him on American Bandstand or dropped the ball in Times Square.
Could
And
I?
you have a personal up close experience with Mr. Clark, the late, great Dick Clark.
Yes, and I think you should do a survey if it was okay that I did this, because you seem to think it was a horrible thing. I was at Dick Clark's house. There was a cocktail reception.
You see how she throws that out
Yeah,
there? Like,
right.
everybody goes to
Yeah.
Dick Clark's house.
You want to hear the Frank Sinatra story? Never
No,
mind.
we don't want to go back that far.
So I was at Dick. No, well, I have to explain. I was at his house. There was a reception. It was for
You were invited.
at the
It's not
NAB.
like you
No.
creeped in there.
I won't tell you how we found the place, because we didn't want to get on the bus, the program director and I, because we thought this is going to be
Where
tacky.
was Dick Clark's house? What town?
It's in Malibu or
Of
Pacific
course.
Palisades.
Yes.
Excuse me,
Right.
By
right
the
on
way,
the ocean.
Pacific
Okay, let
Palisades
her-
is a song on our radio station, but
Okay.
I digress.
That's
Right.
a great song. So we're getting ready to leave. Had a lovely evening. He was so ingratiating with everyone that was there. And it was actually in his house. We thought, oh, it's just going to be outside. We were in the house. So we go to leave, and he said to me, did I want to use the restroom before I left? Use the the powder room.
Which is peculiar to say the least. Like, who, when you have
He
guests
knew it was a
over,
long ride back.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not
I've-
that peculiar.
I've
Would you
never
just
allowed.
let her talk. Go ahead.
So, and you wonder why I go on and on. It's because it takes forever to finish the story. With the interruptions. So,
That's
did
right.
I get him?
You
Good?
did.
Thank you. So anyway, I go in the powder room. Now, I have to back up. When I was a kid, I watched Dick Clark, and he was sponsored by Pepsodent toothpaste. I don't even know if they make
Yep.
Pepsodent anymore.
I don't know that they do, but I do remember that.
So I'm washing my hands, and there's the vanity sink, and I couldn't help myself. I opened the drawer. I wanted to see if it was Pepsodent toothpaste, and it was Crest.
And
False
you were
advertising.
crestfallen.
I was crestfallen.
Did you?
But Ed has given me a hard time ever since that I had the audacity to open a drawer in the bathroom of Dick
That's
Clark's
what,
house.
because I'm convinced that's what people do every time they go in somebody's
think-
bathroom that they're
I didn't
visiting.
do it at your house last night.
Yeah, right.
And that was his
When
bathroom.
people go to
so-
other people's houses and go to the bathroom, they look and
Do
they.
you?
Did you steal the toothpaste, by the way? Did you
No.
take it with you and ask them to autograph it?
But I thought, and I didn't think that was such a bad. I was curious.
Did you say, Mr. Clark? Why
Where's-
Crest? Why? Why Crest and not Pepsodent? You know, it's got a good beat to it. That's why.
Well, yeah, it's number one with a bullet or something
Yeah,
like that. I do want to end it though by
Okay.
saying I walked out, and who was walking down the hall but Peter Noon of Herman's Hermits.
Nobody
you
that
go.
watches this show, you have no idea. Name one song by Herman's Hermits. Name one song.
I'm Henry VIII. I am.
Oh yeah.
there
Oh,
you
how
go.
dare you? You let her out of that bag of worms right there. Herman's Hermits.
Can of
How did you
worms.
even recognize that guy? How?
He does a Sirius XM show now on
He's
Saturday.
still alive.
Yes, he is.
Amazingly. Wow, that's we could just sit here for hours and
Herman's
regale
Herman.
about
my
your
flight leaves in the morning.
about your history in radio. And who's some of the biggest stars other than the late great Dick Clark that you've rubbed elbows with and hobnobbed with?
Well, Paul Anka was one.
Of course, Paul Anka. Like, did you guys sing a duet together at his
No,
Malibu house? Or
No. Frank Sinatra was the biggest.
no way. You were in the same. But did you shake his hand? You have
Oh,
a
yeah.
picture? Wow.
I have his autograph. I have his picture. And
Where did you see him? At the Copa?
He flattered me.
He
Yes.
did. Did he try and make a move on you? Because he's kind
No,
of.
there were other people there in the room, but
Is
it
Marilyn
was cute.
Monroe there?
No, his agent had told us going in. It was a contest, winners contest radio station. My marketing manager didn't want to go. He was a young 20-something. And I'm like, it's a dirty job. I'm the general manager. I'll do it. But we get backstage and I've been told, do not ask for an autograph. If you want an autograph, we'll take care of it. We'll get them back to you. And I'm thinking, yeah, right, sure.
Right.
So I'm standing there. And as I said, I shook his
Where was this?
It was at Nutter Center, Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio.
Wow.
And so okay, I have to tell you the story or you wouldn't know it, even though it's very maniacally driven. But I walked up and I said, hi, I'm Deborah Pereni, and extended my hand. He extended his, shook it. He said, hi, I'm Frank Sinatra. Then he stepped back and he said, oh my, you're beautiful.
Wow. Do you
And
have
a
that
voice-
on tape?
No. And a voice behind him said, he's right, And it was Steve Lawrence. You probably don't know
I
Steve
do know
Lawrence.
who Steve Lawrence is. He was married to Edie
Gourmet.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
didn't let me
anyway.
finish that.
Well,
I knew he was married to Edie.
So I'm standing there and I've got a little CD thing in my purse.
CDs back then?
Yeah. Well,
You sure it wasn't a
whatever.
cassette player?
I don't know what it was, but it was it was a liner
Small.
note or whatever, small. And I pulled it out and I said, would you mind signing this? I have a pen. She just takes this look and he knows what's
Right,
going on.
right.
And I said, I have a pen and you're standing right here. He looked over at her and he said, she has a pen and I'm standing right here. So he
See?
signed it. Yeah.
Very nice. You still have that?
Yes.
Where is it? How come you never showed it to us at one of our group meetings? I mean, you show off all your
she
other awards.
probably showed it to the people that stayed past 5 p.m.
Yes. When they came back for cocktails, but
Do you think it's really fair that she's mean and critical of me all the time? I mean, we're trying to have some give and take here, and it always seems like I'm getting beat up.
No,
And-
I think you need it because by the time then we get to you, you're a little more humble.
yeah.
There you go.
And we need that.
All right.
But
Well,
no, you are. And I do want
Don't
to
say
tell
anything
you.
nice.
No,
I'm going to turn your microphone off if you
no,
do that.
he really is a great editor.
Oh, thank you.
24/7
Stop.
and one of the most
Go on.
creative
Stop.
people I know.
Okay.
Aw.
All right. Thank you. You guys can go.
All
I'm gonna
right.
get us out of here. We've gone way over. The affiliates are screaming at us back down the line and all our different markets that we're in. Wait, we're not in any other markets and probably never will be. So thank you to all of our guests today. Thank you to my boss for coming down. Thank you for everybody watching inside and putting up with our nonsense inside. Thank you to all our sponsors. And don't forget, you can listen to our music radio station a couple of different ways. You can download the app if you have a phone, which looks something like this. Phone. You can go to the Apple App Store or Google Play and you can download the Beach Talk Radio.